Bruce in Arvada, Colorado. Hey, Bruce. Thanks for listening to AM 760.
Good afternoon. Take you off speakerphone there.
Thank you.
I don't know where to go with this one. I listened to your rant about the DMV, and I'm thinking, where's he going with this one? I must have been off my game. My first reaction as I was listening to the first few minutes of this was, man, this just typifies a government-run operation. And in the I'm off my game category, I couldn't figure out how this would connect to evil Republicans.
Well, it's not just government run. It's a bureaucracy. Have you not ever in your life had the exact same problem trying to deal with a department store return department or a phone company, a billing department or a health insurance company that insists you didn't pay when you did or what? I mean, this is just the nature of bureaucracy. It doesn't have to be government
bureaucracies, but I will add on to that my experience is that one can expect this type of conduct in government bureaucracies in spades. Look what's happening at the VA right now. Secretary Shinseki, who I think arguably is a good guy, is under fire because the bureaucracy that works under him failed veterans. We all have stories about DMVs. We avoid them like the plague. Here's a government bureaucracy.
There's a couple before. Hang on just a second, Bruce. You mentioned the VA, and I can't just let that pass without pointing out what Senator Sanders has pointed out. He's the head of the VA committee in the Senate. And number one, in the last couple of years, they've managed to cut the wait times in half, but they're still terrible. I mean, people are still waiting to have, up to a year to get benefits that they should get the day after they get out. Number one. But number two, George W. Bush took us into 2 wars, hundreds of thousands of soldiers, and appropriated, guess how many dollars he appropriated for the Veterans Administration to deal with these people coming home during those 8 years? How many dollars did the George W. Bush administration or Bush himself ever ask for the VA? You know the number?
I said I have no idea.
The number is 0.
Tell me.
The number is 0.
I doubt it. But
the number is 0.
I'll stipulate because I don't have the number in front of me.
Those wars were both off the books. There was never any appropriation for any aspect of them whatsoever. And the consequence of that...
paid for, therefore they are on the books. That's a meme.
And Obama put them on the books when he came into office, yeah. And it immediately...
Okay.
But the point is that the VA got caught flat-footed by these two wars, and they also got flat-footed by their own decision to start actually doing what they should have done 30 years ago, and that is honor the Agent Orange requests from the Vietnam era. And they're trying to make a computer transition. And you're right, it's a bureaucracy. It's a bureaucracy. I mean, it's just like I said, just like in corporations. But that's...
I have to admit, I'm pretty impressed that you've managed to transfer, with my facilitation, the DMV bureaucracy to the VA bureaucracy. You've managed to divert the issue of the point...
Well, I didn't bring up the VA. You did.
You're right. Like I said, with my facilitation.
Okay.
Bad on me. Let me give you one in terms of bureaucracy. Here in Colorado, we can renew our driver's license online. You live in D.C., correct? In the District of Columbia, right?
Right.
Okay. Strongly Democratic, strongly left-of-center government, correct?
No, actually, the problem with the government here in D.C. No, hang on just a second. You don't understand. D.C. really doesn't. D.C. doesn't have a government. For example, D.C. just decriminalized pot, right? It won't become law, even though the city council voted on it and the mayor signed it. It won't become law until Congress acts on it. Nothing happens in D.C. until Congress acts on it. And so if D.C. wants to, for example, upgrade their DMV to have online sign-ons, it has to be passed through Darrell Issa's committee. Ain't happening. No money for D.C. Anything D.C. wants to do, the Republicans in Congress automatically block. They've been doing this for 30 years.
Boy, I have really failed here. I have really failed. I have
Keep trying.
To facilitate.
I'm telling you, I live in D.C. I know this. I mean, I just, it's
Okay.
I'm watching it every day. It's very frustrating to me. I think D.C. should become its own state. There's 800,000 people in this city. That's more than it's more than Vermont. That's more than Oklahoma. I mean, we should have 2 senators, and Eleanor Holmes Norton should be able to vote. And we should be able to, tax ourselves. And I mean, our license plates say taxation without representation.
I'll let you go in just a moment, but I will point out what you just said.
Yes, sir.
You just said that D.C. has no government, and then you immediately said the mayor and the city council, and then...
And Eleanor Holmes Norton, and they're all relatively impotent.
By definition, they do have a government.
Well, yeah, if a government...
Oh, yeah, that's...
No. Hang on just a second. If a government can govern, can actually make final decisions for its people, there is no government in D.C. If a government has positions that are called mayor and city council and can make recommendations to another government, the United States Congress, and requests of another government, may we please have a budget, sir, then yes, we do have a government. So it's a matter of semantics.
So I expect that you will go right out after the show and try to lobby for online driver's license. Oh,
I'd love it. I'd love it.
So you're going to do that? Right?
They just did this with our boats. I live in a boat in the marina down here, and the it used to be the last 2 years because you have to re-register your boat every year, and the last 2 years I had to go to the police department in person to register the boat. And it was just like going to the DMV. It's not anywhere near as bad actually because there's no line, and I know the woman there, and it's far more casual and informal. But it's still, you got to show up in person. This year they put it online, and the implementation was sort of like Obamacare. I mean, it didn't work for months and months, and so they had to move back the date by about 3 months by which you had to have the new sticker on your boat. But at least they did it, and they're working on it. But it took them years to get Congress to approve that, and I think it might be that's not. Well, actually, it is, yeah, because it's the police department of D.C. that's supervising it. So yeah, that came through the D.C. budget somehow. But yeah, I think they should do it with driver's licenses. I would love it.
Okay. You're apt to make specious arguments. You've made a couple of them today.
I don't think they're specious.
You successfully diverted the point that I was trying to make, whether valid or invalid.
The point you were trying to make is the government bureaucracies are nasty, and I agree with you.
And
that's why I don't want government bureaucrats listening to my email. I don't want them, listening to my phone calls, reading my email. I don't, I'm so offended by these Fourth Amendment violations. I don't want government bureaucrats. I want a judge and jury deciding who's going to get blown up with a drone, who's going to be executed.
That's why I was confused on where to go with this one, because you were talking about.
It's because you're trying to be partisan, and I'm trying to be true to principle here rather than party. The Democratic Party is just as bad as the Republican Party on this stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
Except for D.C., the Republicans are really out to screw D.C. because it's historically been a Democratic and largely black city. It's just there's a long history of that, and it was probably Democrats trying to screw D.C. back when the Democrats before the 50s and the 60s when the Democrats were the racist, the Dixiecrats. But anyhow, Bruce, thank you for the good try. Anytime, welcome to call. We'll do it again.